Hello, folks. How you doing again? It's your friend Phil here, project management trainer and coach. Let's see if we can do this again because Facebook has been doing all sorts of crazy things with live stream. I don't know what's going on, but I just finished doing a 30-minute live stream for my followers on the page, and unfortunately, the audio is all scrambled and garbled. So why don't we start off again? So this is meant to be demystifying the PMP exam. I apologize if you had tried to follow me earlier and you're like, what on earth are you talking about? It's Communication 101 and PM 101. Make sure you've got a backup plan. So now I've got multiple cams on, so even if Facebook messes around, I've got the video captured on my cam. All right, so I've had a few questions from people about the PMP exam and what it is. The PMP exam is a professional exam. Now, I'm going to give you the shortened version of all the 30 minutes I had covered before, but you still get the essence of what I'm talking about. The PMP exam is a professional exam. It's a 200-question test, and you're going to be given 4 hours to answer 200 questions. Nobody knows the passing score of the PMP exam. It's based on the Angoff cutoff technique. And the Angoff cutoff technique is a sliding scale, okay? So at no given time do you actually know what the passing score is. Go Google Angoff cutoff technique, A-N-G-O-F-F, okay? So it's a professional exam, and it gives you credibility. If you are a project management professional, it means that you have project management experience because you need experience before you can take the exam. And it also means that you have the knowledge, okay? So two things, you've got knowledge and you've got experience, okay? So people say, why take the PMP exam? Why should you take it? It demonstrates professionalism, demonstrates knowledge, demonstrates skill. Someone says, Phil, but not everyone that has the PMP exam is a professional. Well, you'll be different. You can act professionally and you can have the cert. Don't compare yourself to other people that have the cert and are not doing what they should. For you, it will always be different. For me, it was a game changer. Got PMP certified in 2005. My salary went up 300%, folks. 300%. I'm talking about from, high 40s to going to the 200 zone, all because of this exam. Okay? Now, apart from taking the exam to better your chances of getting a job, you can also better your chances of success on a project. If you get PMP certified, just think about the common lexicon. It's a worldwide common lexicon that is central to project management. Imagine having those terms in your arsenal, being able to share them across your organization, being able to use them to build people in your organization. A lot of times we say, oh, I manage projects. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. What do you call it? Oh, I don't have any name to call it. Well, if you are a PMP, think about the value, knowing what to call certain things and having a common lexicon, a readily accessible common lexicon, not just common to your firm, but common to the entire world of project managers who are PMPs. Huge deal. Another reason why you should get certified is it gives your firm credibility. It gives your firm credibility when they put you forward on a project and they say, Phil is a project manager and he's a PMP certified project manager, whether you like it or not. I know a lot of people say, why should I get PMP certified? There's Agile, there's Scrum. Well, good luck to you. I'm Agile certified. I'm Scrum certified. I'm PMP certified. I'm Prince 2 certified. And I've done all sorts of other project management certs. You cannot stop at the bare minimum. I look at PMP or CAPM as the bare minimum. You have to go a step above. Why wouldn't you? Don't you want to make this a profession? Are you in this for the short haul or are you in it for the long haul? Go large. Why would you stop? It's ridiculous. It's like someone saying, well, I'm going to stop at high school and I'm not going to go. Well, that's good if you want to stop there. Just have a plan. For you as a project manager, I'm telling you, if you want to advance your career, it's not enough to say, I can manage projects. If you go for an interview, even before you get to the second round of the interview, people want to see, okay, which certs do you have? Someone says, how do I get PMP certified? You get PMP certified by, first of all, getting training and coaching. This is training. What we're doing now is training. Okay? If you want to get more training, go to pmsucceed.com and find out more about the course for the PMP exam. But you get certified by, first of all, being eligible. So let's talk about the eligibility. It's either you have a degree or you don't have a degree. If you do have a degree, a bachelor's degree, not an associate's, that won't count. But if you've got a bachelor's degree, you need 3 years of project management experience, leading and directing projects. In addition to that, you also must have 4,500 hours of project management experience. So 3 years is one thing, but you also need 4,500 hours of experience. In addition to that, you need 35 hours of project management education. Okay, so those 3 things, if you've got those 3 things, you're a candidate. Last but not least, that experience should not go back more than 8 years. It should be within the past 8 years. Now, if you don't have a degree, you've got a high school diploma, an associate's degree, then you need 5 years of project management experience, leading and directing projects, 35 hours of project management education, and within the 5 years of experience, 7,500 hours must have been spent leading and directing projects. Now, if you have any questions about this, shoot me an email. If you're kind of, not clear about what exactly a project is, and if you've worked on one, shoot me an email or a message. I would be more than happy to get back to you, let you know what this is all about. Someone says, when do I get PMP certified? You can get PMP certified as long as PMI has accepted your application form, sent you an eligibility letter, sent you the code. You go ahead, pay for it, and then you register on Prometric, the Prometric website. That's Prometric. So go to the Prometric website and find out a little bit more about whether the test center is available when you want to take the exam. There's a little bit more to this, but we talk about it on the pmsucceed.com course. Okay, and what is the exam? Like I said, it's a multiple choice exam. It tests you across the 5 process groups of project management, okay? There are 5 process groups of project management. I can see Mr. Yomi is here. Thank you very much for the heart. I appreciate that. And those of you listening after and the likes and so on, I really appreciate the followership. And if you share this video with other people who are trying to get certified, that would be absolutely awesome. So, I usually advise people, if you really mean business, you want to get certified, don't try to do it alone. Go to, like I said, that site, PM Succeed, or send me a message right now if you've got any questions. Maybe you really don't know where to start, or you have other questions you don't want to share with the world. Send me a private message. Okay. So when do you take the exam? Like I said, sign up on Prometric's website. There is usually a Prometric 200, 100 miles away. I don't know. But if you Google Prometric and you ask for directions from where you are, it will show you if there is a Prometric test center close to you. And if there's a Prometric test center close to you, you can take the exam there. I've taken various exams in different Prometric test centers. I've taken exams here in Arizona. I've taken an exam in Virginia, in Falls Church, Virginia, at Cloak Lane in the United Kingdom, and in Colorado. So you can take a Prometric exam anywhere, as long as there's availability, but you have to go onto the website and check. So like I said, the exam, what is the exam? It's a 200 multiple choice exam, and I was about to talk about the process groups. So there are 5 process groups of project management, and this is a really quick crash course, folks, but the exam is based on these 5 process groups. The first process group is called initiating. The initiating of the project is the authorization of the project and the discovery of stakeholders that could be affected on the project. Stakeholders, people that the project could affect, people who could affect the project, people who are interested in the project. You want to discover who these people are. We call that identifying stakeholders. So there are 2 things that must happen in initiating. You develop a project charter. The project charter is a document that authorizes the project and authorizes the project manager to apply resources to the project. Then you identify stakeholders. That's initiating. Planning, the second one. This is where you plan. If you fail to plan, what happens? Means you're planning to fail, right? So this is a very big area. We've got about 24 processes here, if I remember correctly, from the 5th edition. There's lots of things to plan. You have to plan out scope. What is the scope of the project? You have to plan schedule management. You have to develop a schedule for the project. You have to estimate the cost and determine the budget. You have to determine what is quality. What are we calling quality? If we are done with this project, how do we know we've met quality? How am I going to acquire the team, develop the team, manage the team? Kind of like leadership, but we call it human resource management. How am I going to communicate? What do I need to communicate? Do I need to communicate memos, newsletters, emails? Are there going to be any rules for communicating, storing communication, so on? And then we talk about risk management, dealing with the unknowns. Planning how to manage risk and then actually doing it. We talk about procurement management. What do I need to purchase on the project? Why do I need to purchase it? Who am I going to purchase it from? I need to go to the next process group, because when you talk about who you're going to purchase it from, it could be a whole dog and pony show. You've probably read lots of articles about people who are suing another firm for winning a bid, or they're kind of challenging the government, for a bid that was awarded to another vendor. This stuff could become quite intense. And then lastly, we have stakeholder management. Stakeholder management is where you plan how to engage your stakeholders, which meetings you're going to call them to, when you're going to kind of back off bothering stakeholders, and when you're going to call them to the table. It all needs to be engineered. All this stuff is called planning, okay? So we do all this stuff in planning the project. The next process group is executing. And this is where you take the plan and you execute the plan. We talk about pragmatic leadership, where you motivate the team, you give them feedback. This is also where you check to make sure the work is being done the right way. This is also where you actually distribute the communications that you've received. This is also where you ensure that your stakeholders truly are engaged by engaging them, by meeting with them, by giving them updates, and also by documenting issues. Okay, so that's executing. Monitoring and controlling is the 4th process group, and this is where we are checking the work, checking the plan, making sure that you're following the plan and doing what you should. There's also a big topic here, folks, in cost management. It's called earned value management. Look out for it. This is all about cost, controlling cost. And if you Google earned value management, you'll find a plethora of documents and websites about earned value. So this is a really big area. So that's monitoring and controlling, making sure you're following the plan. And if not, steering the ship in the right direction, doing something to make sure you catch up with the schedule, or that you get back on budget, you get back on track, okay? So those are the first 4. The last one, the 5th one, closing. The closing process group, this is where you close out of maybe a contract with a vendor, or this is where you close the entire phase you're working on, or you close out the project, the big project as a whole. Okay, so when we talk about what exactly is the PMP exam based on, it's based on those 5 things. So I could give you a question, typical PMP question, and I'm making this up, could be, you're project manager on a $5 million investment project. A lot of stakeholders have invested in this project, and you find yourself at week 2. Unfortunately, your project sponsor did not give you any documentation. What is the first thing you should do? A, develop a project charter. B, create a plan. C, develop a business case. Or D, maybe develop a statement of work. So out of those 4 things, as a PMP, you need to choose the best option. You need to choose the best option. Which one makes the most sense, And you have other questions that could allude to your project manager on a project. You work with your sponsor on a project charter. What should you do next? Should you identify stakeholders? Should you develop a project management plan? Should you check deliverables? Or should you come out with work performance data? Those are the questions you could get. But the more you go into the course, folks, the easier it's going to be for you, the more it will make sense, the more you'll be able to sift between, well, a business case, I mean, that should have been done. That's not my place to do. That should have been given to me by stakeholders. Probably the most likely thing before I develop a plan, maybe I should do a chart. Statement of work, I expect that to have been done as well. So you can rationalize and choose the best option based on knowledge you acquire. But the exam is a very, very pragmatic exam in terms of putting you into a real world scenario. It will never say things like, what is the first process in a PMBOK? No. That's namby-pamby stuff. You're going to get really aggressive questions, in your face questions. And the best way to deal with that is right from now, go for great training and coaching. Like I said, pmsucceed.com. We will help you get into ship shape. Now, I'm going to answer some questions here. I don't know what went wrong in our last transmission, but it seems as though things started going crazy with the Facebook live stream. Let's hope that doesn't happen this time. Okay, and a shout out to my friend, Mr. White, who actually helped call my attention to that the video was going a little bit, or the audio was going a little bit weird. So let's hope it doesn't do that this time when we get into the questions section. So how long does it take to get a project management certification? It really depends. Some people spend 6 months like me. I spent 6 months to get certified, and some people could spend a year. I hope not. Typically, people spend anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Maybe about 20% of people, I would say, get it done in about 2 months, maybe 1 month, from my experience anyway. So it really differs, it varies. As far as the course is concerned, you can actually get done with the course in 35 hours. Really depends. But just remember, as you go through a course, you also need breathing space. So when the PMI says 35 hours of training and education, bear in mind that you probably need another 15 hours to go over your questions. If it's a good course, it should have quizzes and mock exams, and you need to go over those things before your real exam. Someone said, how many hours do you need for PMP? Like I said, you need 35 hours of education. You also need 1,500 hours times 3 hours of experience. That's 4,500 hours of experience leading and directing projects. If you have a degree, if you don't have a degree, then you need 7,500 hours of project management experience across 5 years. How much does it cost to take the PMP exam? $555 if you are not a member of the PMI. If you are a member of the PMI, then it costs you $405. How much is it to be a member? Well, it costs $129. At least the last time I checked. I hope it's the same thing. How do I pass my PMP exam? By studying, by doing well, by making sure that you come up in the top tier, making sure you get all moderately proficients and proficients, a mixture of both. Or if you're like 2 of my students this year, if you're like Shruti and you're like Kelly, who got 5 proficients, I doff my hat to you. That is like, goodness gracious, probably 1% or even 0.5% of PMPs that I've seen that get 5 proficients. Not very common. But the PMP exam is broken out, like I said, into initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. And you're awarded either a proficient, a moderately proficient, or below proficient in all of those areas. Typically, if you get 5 moderately proficients, you pass. If you get a combination of proficients and moderately proficients, you pass. But if they are below proficients, there is always a risk of not passing. Now, some people have had 1 below proficient and passed. I've seen 2 below proficients and people have passed, but it depends on what you get that below proficient in. So initiating is not that huge, about 13%. Closing is not that huge, about 7%. So if you get below proficients in those, I'm not saying for sure you're going to pass, but the likelihood of you passing is higher than if you got below proficients in planning, executing, monitoring, control. You don't want to, definitely do not want to get belows in those areas. Some people have and have still passed, but the more proficients and moderates you get, the better for you. Okay, got a question here. Which certification is best for project management? If you're entry level, you might want to look into the CAPM exam. That means you don't have any experience leading or directing projects. Do the CAPM. You just need a high school diploma and, of course, 6 months of project management experience. I think it's 1,500 hours across 6 months. Or you have 23 hours of project management education. So just Google CAPM or go to PMI's website and take a look at that. Someone said, Phil, I'm more interested in Agile. What should I do? Well, you probably want to go for the ACP exam, or you might want to go for the CSM, Certified Scrum Master. You know, it's a hybrid of various things. You learn a bit of Agile and, of course, zero in on Scrum. So, you know, if I were you as a PM who really means business in the world, why not do all of them? Why not do Scrum, ACP, PMP? You know, if you want to go ahead and maybe you're in the UK, do the Prince 2. You know, do as many of these exams as you can. You know, it doesn't hurt. I've probably got about 7 or 8 of these certificates now, and I found out that it truly does add value. It really does add value to the firm. Another question, Phil, is the PMI a legitimate organization? Of course it is. There's nothing dubious about the PMI. Well, can I really say that? Some people will take me up on that. Let's go there. Let's go there on this one. Okay, so the PMI is a non-profit organization. Jokes apart, PMI is a non-profit organization. They've been around since 1969, and they have helped the profession in advancing project management, structured project management, developing standards for the project management profession. Okay, how do I earn a PMI certification? Go to pmi.org, look for the certifications that are available to you. So in addition to the PMP and the CAPM, they have the Agile certification, risk management, schedule management, program management, portfolio management, business analyst, all sorts. So go there and check it out. How do I complete the application for the PMP exam? You do that by going to pmi.org, check online, and the information is right there. Someone said, which supporting documentation should I send to the PMI? So the supporting documents that you need, you don't have to send them. You just need to know, I have a degree. You know, this is my highest level of education. I've worked here. They're not going to ask you for that at first. But if you are audited, yes, at that point, they will ask you to provide your experience proof of your degree, proof of your experience, so on and so forth. All right, well, that is about it, you know, for what I had to share today. I know that lots of you are already on the journey to getting PMP certified, so this may not be of interest to you. But I have been pinged over the past few days about what exactly this PMP exam is and, you know, how does PMI look at project management. If you really want to get certified, just go to Google and type in PMP handbook. Download the handbook, read the handbook, and shoot me any questions you have about the handbook, about the contents in it, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you with answers, okay? So thank you very much for joining. I appreciate it. Those of you who are watching this after the fact, I wish you all the best on your PMP journey, and I'll look forward to speaking to you again. Take care. Bye for now.